Hello, everyone. My name is Emmanuel Wa-Kyendo. I am a program officer at the Institute of Economic Affairs and running the International Trade and Development Program. And here I've been exploring and trying to working to understand the underlying economic causes of Kenya's state of affairs today in September 2024. Now, before us is a chart, detrended real money. Real money, or M3 in economic parlance, is an indicator of money supply that measures liquid assets, short term repurchase agreements, institutional money market funds, and large time deposits. M3 is a measure of money as a store of value. It includes the money supply, currency in circulation, and liquid financial products. Trends in M3 are a good indicator of the direction that assets held by households are going. In less capitalized countries like Kenya, wealthier households may hold M3, while poorer households hold their wealth in livestock. As such, in the developing world, trends in M3 are a approximation of the direction that assets held by wealthy households are heading. An important distinction is that while M3 in wealthy economies is approximation of the asset holdings of the average households, M3 in poorer economies is a approximation of the asset holdings of wealthier households. What the chart above indicates is that while the average households in wealthy advanced economies in the wealthy advanced economy of the United States saw its assets rise during COVID-19 and then remain high in the post-COVID-19 period, wealthy households in Kenya actually became poorer after the COVID-19 period. The brief spike in household bank deposits at the beginning of the COVID-19 period can be ascribed to lower expenditures on services and some goods. Poorer households in Kenya saw their wealth in livestock battered by drought. In response to the IMF conditionalities that it agreed to, the Kenyan administration sought to hike taxes continuously on a tax base that was already experiencing considerable wealth distress. It is no wonder that the public responded as vigorously as it did to the Finance Bill 2024. So, to put that together again, in simple terms, households in wealthier countries actually became a little bit richer during COVID-19, while households in Kenya, on average, actually became poorer. And when you consider that the data being presented on this chart, in the case of Kenya and the typical poorer country, actually captures the wealth held by wealthier households, right? While the same graph, right? While that, say, take the light blue line, for example, actually captures the wealth held by the average household in wealthier countries. The average wealthy household in Kenya actually became a little bit poorer during and after COVID, right? They're perhaps starting to recover, but they got poorer, right? While in the United States, they got wealthier during COVID and then returned and then seemed to be returning to a higher plateau than they were at before. So, The final point: poorer households in Kenya will hold their wealth mainly in livestock. They had already been battered by drought, right? 5 successive droughts before and during COVID. So they were already getting poorer. And then the average wealthier household in Kenya also became poorer during and after COVID-19. And it is in all this that the Kenyan government sought to continue to hike its taxes. Well, now you have another indicator that tells a story about why it is that so many households poured out onto the streets in protest in the Finance Bill 2024 protests, right? The so-called Gen Z protests of the year 2024 in Kenya. The point is, the pain was being felt all around the country in almost every single one of Kenya's 12 million plus households. Thank you. Do have a good evening.